Special for our Vital Health family. Well, I just want to say good morning, Vital Health family. I am honored to be here. Thank you, David. Mr. David, for inviting me on the platform, seeing that, that there was something that you saw that I could share with our family here at Vital Health. I honestly look at you guys as my new family. You know how when you get, someone gets married, you get this new family. So I'm like now married into Vital Health. So, welcome, family. Good morning. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing up for Vital Health. Thanks for showing up for yourself today. I'm just going to give you a, small, brief introduction of who I am because, as family, new family, we obviously have to get to know each other, right? So, just a little bit of background about myself. My name is Yasha Ikeola. I'm down here in Houston, Texas. My hometown is in St. Louis, Missouri. I haven't stayed there in a while, but Houston is my new home. I am a mother of three. My oldest is 26. I have me and my husband started over. So we both have 26-year-olds, but we now also have a 7 and a 10-year-old. My background is completely not marketing. I'm a technical person. My degrees are in computer science, computer networking. I got a minor in website development. But only thing that I know is if it has something to do with analytical project management, that is my background. That's all I've done for 20 plus years. I can't really do much of anything else. But I have been around the industry of what we call MLM or network marketing, however you communicate the industry. I've been around this industry for over a decade by way of my husband, Mr. Ikeola. I met him and had never heard of marketing at all. Didn't know what network marketing was, didn't know about downlines, left, right, didn't know any of those things. But I've been around it. So, of course, within my home, I've heard calls, I've been to meetings, events, all of those type of things. And I'll tell you, through the decade plus that me and my husband's been together, I've never had any desire to do what my husband does. For me, that was what my husband did for a living. And I reaped the benefits of what marketing and this platform in this industry actually allowed to be possible to a family. But I just never saw myself as one that would market anything. I'm an introverted sort of person. A lot of computer people are. I've worked in a server room in the dark for many years, and me and the computers and the backups. So, that's comfortable for me. I feel very comfortable doing things on my own. I feel very comfortable getting things done in a way in which I have complete control. With marketing is a little bit different. It's a people business. It's a business where it's not about what you can do. It's about the team and it's about what we all collectively can do together. So I never saw myself as a person that wanted to embark on a mission to bring people together or do some of the things that this industry requires. But to get to the reason of why I am here, my husband, a few years ago, we were with the company. He had been with that company 18 years. We were starting to have some, I'll just say, misalignments. I'm going to say some misalignments. And we were waiting for some things to happen that was not happening. During that time, my husband decided that he wasn't going to build in these last 2.5 years, and he was going to see if we can get back realigned. At some point last year, we knew that that wasn't probably going to happen. And so my husband, started to look, heavily, for a new home for us. I guess I would say a new business relationship that we can have. And I was there the whole way with helping him, when we get the new box in, going through the products, Googling stuff, learning more about this wellness industry to help our family, possibly make a new transition. But earlier this year, in March, I had just came back from Atlanta. My husband's like, you have to come to Mexico. Now, everyone that just tuned in from Texas, we know that March is start testing. I have a 7-year old, a 10-year old, this new math. I said, honey, I got stuff to do. I got to do my job. Who's going to do my job if I'm in Mexico? And we don't have family here. So it was difficult. We didn't have anyone to watch our kids last minute. And he said, well, this company it's thinking about going to Africa. And I know my husband, he's not going to do business with any company that's not willing to put a footprint and investment there. That was one of our dilemmas and one of our very difficult reasons why we could not find a company. Because if Africa was not in play, it was just something he has his own, and you'll hear from him one day, his own legacy that he wants to leave for, where he is from. And so I mustered up the decision to say, okay, honey, I'll go. If you feel that this is going to be important for our family, I do want to be there. I do want to play a role in helping, us make the right decision. But I'll tell you, getting there for this Latin Fest weekend was not easy. It was very uncomfortable. I'll tell everyone that I know I'm a person that loves comfort. I loves my favorite things are saunas and masseuses. Like those are my happy places. It was very uncomfortable. We had a lot of things with so many people coming into the city, flying in late, having to do a layover. It was a lot. And I was very, like irritated, like, Lord, like I knew I didn't want to go. I knew that this was going to be too much for me. And I kind of was negative. And most of you guys would be like, oh, you're going to Mexico. We would love to go to Hermosillo. We would love to celebrate Alex's birthday. And for me, not being in Vital Health, I was just like, this is a lot for me. But I pushed through. I was able to meet Mr. Alex. I was able to meet Dr. Tony. And what I will tell you while I was there and was able to actually see the operations and just see the infrastructure of Vital Health, my mood about Vital Health, my um, even the discomfort on certain things just totally vanished. I was like, this is a real business. This is not, I didn't even look at it as a marketing company per se. It was a business that was needed. I think we all here, whether you are new to Vital Health or been with Vital Health for a while, we have to know, and what I saw was, with Dr. Tony's story, with his both of his parents, leaving here and leaving him alone, at a very young age. This company was built before Vital Health was built. Dr. Tony was created these formulations for his community way before Vital Health was thought about. And so when I looked at that and I saw the heart of Dr. Tony and I saw the business that Alex had put together for Vital Health, you had to know and see, you have to have discernment about when things are happening and when things are just in alignment. So for me, the platform that they, thankfully were able to make Vital Health become in the multi-level marketing, I knew that these products with Dr. Tony's story and the prayers that me and my husband had been praying, looking for the right thing, looking for the right, making the right choice. I knew that, Vital Health was it. I felt very strongly about it. We did come back home. We still prayed about, the decision to move forward. And you got to know Vital Health was already outside of Vital Health, the products, I will say, was already there. The products were already helping people. So Vital Health was just a avenue in which I looked at that they can actually get these products to the marketplace in a more global way versus, just keeping them locally. So we came home, guys, and we were, like I said, praying about it, getting some things, decisions that my husband was handling from the African side to, come on to spearhead opening that market. And I literally, I was in this office. This is my husband's office. I was in this office right here, guys. And my husband was working with Mr. David. And I told my husband, I said, I want you to put me in the system. And he was like, put you in the system for what? I think that I want to work Vital Health. And he was looking at me and he kind of, yes, my husband is not one to put someone, family, friend, whatever, in the business if they are not, going to do the business. He looks at this business as a form of his ministry, as a form of him giving back and pouring into people. And he's like, Yasha, put you in the business. And I had to literally almost fight him. I was like, I want to go into business. I said, and I want to do this. And we had been on the products for a few weeks now. I'll tell you, when I got into my mid 40s, mind you, I started having babies again in my early 40s. In mid 40s, my body started to do something. I don't even know what it was doing, but I was not the same person. My body wasn't. After getting checkups and things like that, I found like I had deficiencies all over that just sprung up, like deficiencies I've never had sprung up. So I am not new to supplementing. I've been supplementing. I'm almost 50 now. I've been supplementing for years. So I am very aware of good supplementation. So I started taking the supplementation after using the supplementation. I was like, this is a good product. You guys already know the scanner is very accurate in its reading and giving you data to make decisions. So I was already sold with the scanner. After taking the products, I said, I want to do the business. My husband put me in the business. And he probably thought, that I wasn't, I don't know what he thought. I have to actually ask him one day, what did you think when I asked you to put me in the business? But what I'll tell you guys, I booked a ticket to St. Louis, my hometown, and I went back and I scanned my entire family. I'm talking about the kids, the teenagers, the aunties. I scanned my entire family. Anybody that would let me scan them, I scanned them. I sold all my products, by the way, too. Scan and I actually charged them. So I went back home. I scanned my entire family. Now, when I went back home, none of my family has done marketing. We don't come from this background. We don't know anything about marketing, but they know the life that we live. They know my husband does marketing. And, we were telling them, well, this is a new venture that, Abby is going to be embarking on for the continent of Africa. I've joined. I feel like this is going to, be good and big. And, I had no idea the support that I was going to get from my family. So if any of my family members are on here, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for believing in Vital Health. Thank you for joining this community. But I came back from St. Louis like almost a platinum. And I didn't go there to like become a platinum or anything like that. I went there really because of we all know someone with a health issue or they know someone that is battling something with their health. And with me supplementing over the last few years, I know how my health, where it came from to where it went to with supplementation. And then being just on the supplementations for a very short period of time, I knew that this was something that my family, friends, people that I cared about really needed. So, to get back on track, I came back almost a platinum and it encouraged me. Obviously, it made me really look at this as something that I should do. Now, again, I've told you guys I'm an introvert. I really, like only saunas and masseuses. So if you're not one of those, I don't, don't know about you too much. But I, started thinking about my own life, and I started thinking about, as I am embarking on half of my life, or, to my 50-year point in life, who do I want to be remembered as? What do I want to do with the remaining of the days that I have on in this earth? And would I, being a stay-at-home mom for the last 7 years by way of this industry, would I ever go back and really, do project management work, manage projects again? Would this be even something I would want to do? And I had to start to think really, really deeply about my life, and I decided at that point that, this is something that I could do until the day that I leave here. I am all about helping people. I am going to put my best foot forward with anything that I take part in. But I also like seeing people get from where they are, because I have my own story. You guys are here one day. I've came from one place in life to here, to not ever knowing my life would be what it is, not knowing some of the things that I've been able to experience in life, and knowing that some of the things that God would bless me with, from where I started, never knowing that it could be possible for me. And I knew that this was possible for people. And so I made a decision. I made a decision to really take this serious. I made the decision that I wanted to be a diamond. I made a lot of decisions when I came back from St. Louis. And I just want to say to each and every person that's on the call, we all have to start with making a decision. We all have to decide. We have to decide whether we want to go back to what we've always done. We have to make a decision whether we want to go back to the people, how we did things, how we thought. Because I think for me, I had to make a big decision. Those things that I once did, let's say my whole career, I made a decision not to do them anymore. I made a decision that obviously my thinking would have to change in the new industry, and learning people and becoming a people person. Well, not becoming a people person, but putting myself out there, right? Like we're on this call right now, putting myself out there, sharing with people what's possible. So I had to make a lot of decisions, and I'm still making decisions. I'm making decisions. I made a decision today. I made a decision this week. So I'm still making decisions that are out of my norm. But I think that what everyone here has to know, you have to make a decision on where you're wanting to go and the vehicle that you're going to take to get there. It makes everything easier once you make the decision, because it's just a matter of then time of you getting there. Like I said, I traveled back to St. Louis. I could have went by train, by car, by bike, by walking. I could have, gone there anyway, right? But nothing could actually stop me from getting there unless I decided that I was going to turn around. And I think that, we have to in life, make a decision on where we want to go. We need to make a decision that we're not going to stop going there, whether it's, to piggyback on what Mr. David has spoke about this week. Life is something that, is happening. It's not happening to you. Life is a experience. Life is something that we have to every experience be actually grateful for, because some people today didn't wake up. Some people don't have a chance to do anything they thought, or decide. They don't even have the ability to make a decision any longer. So we all are here. We all have woke up this morning. And if you're not part of the Vital Health family, we invite you in to be part of our family. But we're all here as a family. And we all know, anyone that's here, I often ask myself this, because I've had some difficult times, since, embarking on this. I always remind myself, do the product work? It does. Is this does the scanner work? It does. Is this business going to help someone? It is. like I said, ask yourself the question, do someone that you know, or is there someone out there that knows someone? Because sometimes take yourself out of it. Is there someone out there that knows someone who could benefit from our products? And that is what really resets me when I ask myself those questions. If you are have the privilege of being a part of something that actually works. I've been on projects, we get halfway through the project, they can't even do reporting. You're like, how did you guys get chosen? So you can be on legitimate paths that are going nowhere, the legitimate paths that will not fulfill the need, right? This we know is working for people. We hear the testimonies, we see people results. I have several of my family members that have before and after, even my own self with my own health things, um, uh, you know, have seen the results of the product. So we just have to keep in mind that we're all on a mission that's bigger than ourselves. It's not about us per se, but we're all woven in together for it to be about us, because we all have things and desires and things that we want to become and accomplish. And on the journey, it's not going to be an easy journey to get there. It's going to create challenges. If you think about life, everything that you've ever celebrated or anything that you've ever been proud of, it was hard. Even being a parent is hard. So there's nothing easy, right? But we have to change our mindset of easy, hard. It's just what it is. That's just the experience of life. Life is not a feeling, life is a decision. So, I want to be encouraging today, and I want you guys to look at this. Hopefully, as I've looked at this, look at the bigger picture. We have many, many people in the world right now that need us, that need a scan, that need our products. And if we don't open our mouths, they won't know. And I think all of us collectively can make vital health known. I don't think that you woke up and dialed into this call by chance. I know I didn't walk into vital health just by chance. I know that my family was led here by God. I know that we didn't just get here. This is something that I feel that anyone that has the privilege to be a part of vital health, you have the privilege to do something that God wants done for his people. And that is to move people back into what he gave us from the beginning. And everything that we have on this earth, every natural resource was given so that we can have life. And although we've moved very far from that with all of the the smartness of us humans, the inventions and creations that we continue to embark on. But we know that some of these things that are being created and inventing is not helping us. It's not helping our bodies. It's not helping us to be our best. So I will, just want to encourage everyone as we're going into a new month. My husband says, he's into numbers. Number 8 is the month of new beginnings. So with this new beginning, with the new launch here in the U.S., we all have a decision to make. Remember, a decision to, all declare like that we are not going to go back to even yesterday, right? Take this next few days as we go into the new month and decide what it is that you want. Decide where you want to be in life. Decide what you want out of life. And until you make the decision and have it actually and know what you want, you can't get there, right? So we have to know what we want. B, know that we're not going to go back to our old thinking, our old behaviors, create new ones. And with 8 being a new beginning, you have that, even that insight to say, this is my time. This is my time where I'm not going to worry or be boggle down about what I didn't do last week or last month or last year, what commitments I didn't make. All of those things is a great time to do a reset. I'm doing a reset on a lot of things, you guys. I'm doing like a lot of resets on life because and it's never, and through life you'll have many reset moments, right? And so this is a reset for me, and I think that if we as a family here at Vital Health do a reset and we all with unity move forward and do the reset for the right things, this company can go beyond what you guys can even ever imagine. I look at my husband's previous company and the products that they were selling and the amount of income that was being earned. And I look at what we have. And this far is more beneficial. Is far going to help, way more people around the globe. It's a opportunity that you are here because you're supposed to be a part of it, but you have to immerse yourself and get really involved and make a decision to be a part of it, right? And when you make a decision to be a part of anything, if you decide right now that you want to go back to school to do anything, you're in it. You're in it every day. It's what you're trying to become. You don't become a doctor or you don't become a lawyer or you don't become anything casually doing it. You can't become it. I can't become a high earning marketer if I don't immerse myself in what it takes to become in this industry. So even like I said myself, I have made a decision outside of my husband. My husband accolades are his accolades. I don't want to ride on his accolades or anything like that. I have my own accolades. I've done great things in this world. God has allowed me to be a business owner. God has allowed me to be a great mother, a multitasker. He's put a lot of wisdom in me about multiple, different things. So, it's not anything that has anything to do with what my husband has been or done. This is honestly, you guys, this is something that I've chose for me and chose for my life. And I'm excited. It's a little scary, not scary, but I know the work that's required. And I know I have to come out of my comfort zone. And I know that I have to become something more than what I am right now. I know that I have to grow in areas that with my previous life I didn't need. But for where God is taking me, I have things that I have to work on as well. And, that's what we all have to do. And I just want everyone to be encouraged. If you are looking for a sign. Sometimes people need signs to say, I don't know. I'm just God. Give me a sign. Let me know that, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is where I'm supposed to be at. I will tell you, like, I'm very spirit led. Before I even was on this call, I am going to, spend time with, God, my creator. And I know that I don't just end up places by chance. I don't end up places I'm not supposed to be, and I don't end up in places that's not for the betterment of not of people. So I know God is doing a great thing in my life and doing a great thing within my family, and I know that God wants that for all of us. And if you have any doubts, any apprehensions about whether Vital Health is it, I am going to profess to you that it is it, and it's going, and don't miss it. And this very moment has come for you to understand that it is it. And we all have to, as a family, know that it is it, right? We have to know what we have. We have to know the value that we are bringing to the marketplace. And if we all collectively have that same energy and we go out to the marketplace, people are going to know about Vital Health. People are going to know what we have, and many lives are going to be changed behind it. I mean, I can start going into the statistics of where we are with even children health, right? Even my own children. scanning them and seeing the deficiencies. Now, let's just say they kept these deficiencies. If that scanner was not in my family, and not in my household, I have children that would have lived with deficiencies for decades. Why? Because our system don't even check children's blood work, right? They have them open their mouth, press on their tummy, do their height, weight. But guess what? No one can live deficient for 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years and then be healthy people, right? So that's why we have so many young people that are unhealthy right now. They've been living with deficiencies. And so this tool that we have, powered with the formulations that Dr. Tony has put together for us, are what the world needs. So if you know that you have something that can help the world, like if you knew you had a cure for cancer right now, not saying that we can cure cancer, but if you had a cure for cancer, would you just keep that in your coffee table at home? Would you just keep the cure on the table and you just like, oh, I got to get out there and share that cure, right? No, you're going to know the impact that it can have. And we have to stay relevant and understand that we have to go share what can start to change people's lives. We have to educate people on getting their body back into a homeostasis and balance so that their organs and systems can do what they were created to do. So it doesn't take a lot of people, right? It only takes consistent people, and it's going to happen. I can remember back when I was in school getting my first degree, you guys. I didn't know anything about computers. I had only played on the solitary, right? That's all I knew. And here I am getting a advanced degree in 2 years in computer networking, right? I used to be on Google. No one even knew about Google. This was before you guys knew anything about Google. I knew about Google, PayPal, eBay. I knew about all of these things, but I didn't know their value, right? I had no idea. I'm sitting in the mix of billions, right? I'm using something that's going to become billions. And in this case, we're sitting in something that's going to be trillions, trillions, a industry that's going to be trillions of dollars. You don't have the luxury of whether you want to supplement. You will supplement. Otherwise, you will be in a very unhealthy state. We know that we can't eat our way to health. Not even the babies can't. Even the 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, they can't do it either. So I was sitting in the midst of what is now. I'm looking at it. Like I knew about this before the world knew about it. I use these tools before the world used them. When people used to say, what is Google? I knew from using it, it was awesome. I knew that's how I got information that nobody else got. I knew that it was good, but I didn't know what to do with it. I was young. I'm not young anymore. So I'm telling you guys, this technology that we're using way ahead of the curve, these supplements and matching the supplementation, this is going to be normal in the years to come. So we all have a very small window, guys, to capitalize on what others don't know. They don't know what they don't know. The same way I did not know what I had. We have something that is so ahead of the game that if you don't jump on now and solidify your position in the marketplace with Vital Health, you're going to be like I am now with Google, and you're going to be like, I was there. I saw it. I had the scanner on my kitchen table. I had that scanner. I had those products. I used some of those products sometime. Yeah, I did. You're going to be just like me because I kick myself. I'm like, oh my God, Yasha, how could you have not seen? I wouldn't even be on this call, y'all, if I had known what was to come. And the way we are moving with AI, the things that the company is putting before us, technology wise, you guys got to see it. You have to open your eyes, or you just got to trust me, right? You can do that too. That it is going to be so big. No one's going to be able to catch up overnight. But guess what? It's just like now. How many search engines do we have? People are going to come, right? But we have the opportunity right now to, we are first, and we have first right advantage to something great. And so you have to just know what you have. Um, there's many stories of people just not knowing what they have. But what we have here, I'm telling you, I'm not a marketer. I never had any desire to be a marketer. But if I'm going to market anything, it's going to be something that I know within is going to be something great. And this is going to be something great. So I just want, let me see, I put a couple of little notes here. I didn't even go by any of these notes, but let me just see if there's anything else I want to share with you guys. Um, Oh, I just want to also add, you know, money. Everybody, wants to, we can do the income. I know marketing works, but we have to not focus on the money. I know it sounds like, Yasha, I got bills, this car note, this mortgage. What do you mean don't focus on the money? But you have to, there's principles and laws to how the world is governed. And whenever you take yourself out of things, and when you, from your heart, I don't know how you do it, you have to have a talk with yourself. You have to find it within yourself to want to go out and do something for the next person. That's how blessings come in. Blessings don't come in because you're a good person or because you prayed or any of those type of things. You have to be doing actionable things for the universe to replenish you and give back to you, right? So I know it's going to be hard, when you're trying to, get a recruit, you're trying to get, what do you call it? The welcome fast track bonus thing. But you have to, when you go to the market, when I go out, I'm telling you guys, I don't think about money, even though I like money. like I like money, but I have the ability to turn money off. Like I don't think zero about money. I think zero about what I can get. I think zero about what I can benefit. I literally go out with, I am going to share to help somebody. I even take myself out of the money. I'm going out to help somebody else make some money, right? I'm going out to help someone else pay their car note, but I completely remove myself. Like zero for Yasha, nothing. I get nothing, right? Just zero. I take myself out of it because when you are doing good to people, you will get what you need. I don't know how it works. I don't know all of those nuances, but I've seen it happen over and over and over in my life. When I've given the most things that I've given, if I told you guys, some of you guys, you'll be like, "Oh my God, why would you do that?" But I'm telling you, I've seen my receiving all the time, not some of the time, I'm talking about all the time. Out of a given spirit, you receive so much. You receive what you need and more. And so I know it's not the easiest thing to just take off the plate, but I did write that down as a note to really share with people that money will show up. There's no scarcity of money. Like money is like leaves on the ground. Money has a way of finding it to the people that deserve money. He does find it to some people that don't deserve money, but trust me, everyone that is doing what they need to do in this world never goes without. I have not experienced that. I have even to the last moment. I can tell some stories in the future. I'm talking about even down to the last day, the last moment. What you need shows up for you. You're never without what you need. If you just take a moment when we get off the call and just look at times in your life where what you needed showed up, it will show up because, and it doesn't matter your religion. I used to be a adjunct instructor or professor, and I had a student. It was a school where they were doing English as second language, and I taught them like networking and Microsoft classes and things like that, certifications. And he was atheist, and he could even recall one time he was very in Russia they're poor, very without, right? And he doesn't even believe in God. He's like, God wouldn't have me like this if there was a God. And this is a true story, guys. From your heart and from his part, regardless of what he proclaimed that he's not, he cried out for what he needed, and it appeared instantaneously to him. So what you need will always show up. Always, always, always. I'm not in if we all are honest, if you put some, I don't know, ones in the chat, if in the nick of time you've had something show up for you that you needed, and on multiple occasions. So when we go out here and we represent Vital Health, when we go out here and we're sharing this vision, yes, we're new to the marketplace in many markets, but if we go out here with the same, what would I say, heartfelt or the same alignment, I know that we will have many people very interested because they're going to see that we're leading with the heart. They're going to see that it's not about what we're trying to get from them, and it's not about what we want to get or become or anything like that. So I will say, we are in the right place, guys. I feel like we have the right people. We have Dr. Tony. We have Alex that's handling all the business for Vital Health. Let's see what. And then we have like the right people. So again, some of us are becoming what the company needs, but continue to work on ourselves, continue to go out and share, continue to take yourself out of it and look at what we can do for the world, because in this world, people need us and people are waiting for us. And so we are chosen to be the ones to go out and give them what they need. So I want to thank you, Vital Health family, for having me on the platform today. I look forward to, connecting with you guys, meeting each and every single one of you guys over in Orlando. I can't wait to hear some of your stories. I can't wait to hear some of your stories as you start this new beginning and you make some decisions to not go back to some of the thinking, not to go back to some of the frustrations and habits that you previously have. Let us all, make a short little 3 list of what we want to change going forward in this new season that's about to happen in 2 days. And I know that we as a company will all have many testimonies, many more diamonds on the platform behind just a few tweaking and a few decisions made. So I love you guys. I thank you for your time. Thank you for your morning. Many blessings into each of your households, into each of your families. I speak blessings and prosperity over all of you guys in Jesus' name. Amen.